Good afternoon, Queens.
Good afternoon.
So, we are coming to you again for another episode of Queens
Talk.
Talk. And I just want to say, of course, if you haven't noticed, I have given birth to a beautiful baby boy, all healthy. His name is Brayson. And he has been amazing. And of course, you know, this experience all over again. I'm a little tired, but I do thank each and every one of you who prayed for a successful birth, who just took me into consideration once my partner in crime posted it in Queen's Talk. It was a long, exhausting labor. 27 hours long. Uh, Contractions and pains and everything, but he's here. And so I thank you. I can't appreciate or tell you how much I appreciate all the love and support that you ladies have shown me throughout this process. So thank you again. And so, with that being said, and our new bundle of joy here, we are going to move on to our next topic for today. Um, so this is coronavirus, kids going back to school part
Part two.
two. So we discussed in our first episode, or in our previous episode, excuse me, uh, just trying to get some feedback in reference to the kids going back to school and what that potentially was going to look like this year with coronavirus. We did get some feedback from some of the ladies around the globe. We have so many ladies that are a part of Queen's Talk, but everybody's experience has been different. So we can only talk about the experience that we are having here in North Carolina in reference to the kids going back to school. And again, as always, we look for your feedback, for your opinions, comments that you can provide to us to maybe help someone else to get through this crazy, crazy time that we're experiencing, and also to be able to provide some advice for some of the mothers out here and the children that are going to school. So we look for the professionals, most importantly, to tell us their side of what this whole going back to school with corona virus virtual learning experience has been like on the other side. So for us, this has been week one of the kids going back. And it has been a trial and test for many, many
Yes,
parents.
yes.
The first day of school definitely was not your traditional first day of school where you get to drive up, drop your kids off, kiss them,
Welcome to
walk them to
class. None of
class.
that.
None of that happened this year. Everything was done virtually, and it was an experience. We have heard and seen some of the craziness that's going on of parents um, walking in the background, doing some unruly things, um, not being able to just provide the most stable atmosphere for learning um, for some of the kids. I know some parents have built workstations for their kids to sit down and do their schoolwork, but they've also had some communication issues on the other end where they have not been able to connect with their teacher,
Definitely.
which is another trial that they had to experience this week. Some of the Zoom calls, once they were successful, you had kids that were just not really mentally prepared, I think, for going back to school. Um, and it's been really tough for some parents as well as some kids who already have a hard time learning, and they need more of a physical interaction with their teachers or other students in the classroom. And to not have that physical presence has been really difficult for the kids. Or for some kids, excuse me. Some kids, they don't have a problem with any style of learning. It's easy for them to pick things up and move on. But I do want um, to again ask for your feedback in reference to what your experience was for this week, this first week of school. If you did go back to school this week, or if your kids are already um, actively doing the virtual learning, because I know different states go back to school at different times. And again, for some of those states that have yet to begin school, I think Georgia and some of the other southern states have not started school back yet. So please provide your feedback. But I know it's just been rough with these kids, getting them integrated into the virtual learning atmosphere for this year, or at least for the first 6 weeks here in North Carolina. They're doing this test and trial, um, and I was speaking with one lady who just could not understand this whole virtual learning process, and her child was having a really difficult time with adapting. And as parents, that's tough to see your kids struggle, not being able to control the circumstance or the
Mm-hmm.
situation. So just hug on your kids, love on them, encourage them, be there for them, wake them up in the morning, get them a nice hot breakfast if possible. Try and make their learning environment as
Easy and
as
as comfortable
as possible,
as possible.
because these kids, they need it. I pray for them every single day, trying to just figure out what the best solution is. Again, I can only tip my hat to the parents, especially the single parents that have multiple kids that are trying to figure it out from school age to middle to high school, or excuse me, elementary school age to middle school to high school, trying to combine all of those things along with your normal day to day activities. It has to be tough.
Very.
And I can only applaud you for doing that, um, and doing your best. Keep encouraging each one of your sisters to your left, your right, to do whatever it is that they need to do to make life easier for them as well as the children. Um, because again, we all know education is important. It is the key, and we just because we feel that the system is not supporting us does not mean that we can't support our children, and
And
making
each
sure
other.
that they're and each other,
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that they are fully equipped and educated as much as possible. We all don't have the same education level as parents, so that also makes things a little more tough, for us to do some of these math problems and um, English stuff that they have going
Yeah.
on. I've seen the work. It is not easy. It is a beast, for some of these schools, in some of these classrooms, especially I know for us, with the private schools, or the schools that have these accelerated learning programs. They really make these kids work, and put in some time in those books, and it's a struggle. It's important to for them to get it, but it's also been a struggle, because we don't have that day-to-day interaction. The kids don't get to ask questions, um, because it's hard to raise your hand when you're on a Zoom call and try and get a question
Mm-hmm.
into the teacher or instructor for that particular class. And I just I don't have any true words to express and explain to you how much us as parents now have to be in and involved, around our children's lives, educationally right now. Um, it it's vital. It's vital.
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure that just putting them behind a computer is not the answer. You have to make yourself available for them, because right now you're pretty much it. You're all they have, to be able to reach out to be able to ask questions, to be able to encourage and motivate them to do the right thing, throughout the day. And it's tough, but is something that we just have to do. And if you need us, if you need any one of the queens that's in the Queens Talk, I'm sure that they are open and available for you to ask questions, to try and get some assistance, or for someone that has more experience, or nothing else going on, please reach out. Let us know if there's anything that we can do, if there's any assistance that we can provide to you, or just ask the question in the group and see what answers comes back, because it may help you. It absolutely will. I truly believe that the ladies here are very knowledgeable. Again, they're willing to assist if at all possible. So just reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out. Don't think that you're the only one going through, because there's so many parents, there's so many ladies out there that are going through the same thing, and everyone across this United States of America are having difficulties with the virtual learning for this particular school year. Tasha, tell us about your experience with your two for this week.
My week it wasn't bad. However, we did have some hiccups. So Monday morning was my kid's first day online. So we got everything. My daughter, teacher, updating her assignments, posting her assignments, not all at one time, but to ensure that they was there, she was posting them periodically, throughout the day, which was fine. Because in between time, I wrote out her list of words. I wrote out her some math problems. Okay, this is what you can do while you're waiting on your next assignment. So my daughter, for the most part, did what she needed to do.
What grade is she in?
She's in the first grade.
First grade.
We did have a hiccup with the bus. Luckily, I'm working from home, so I was able to take her to school. Because I seen that the bus wasn't coming, she needed to get to school or whatever, so I went on ahead and took her to school. Like I said, for the most part, she was okay. My son,
I'm going to cut you off. So her kids go to school 2 days a week. She chose the option of having her children go to the classroom physically 2 days a week. So Tuesday and Thursday,
they will be at school.
They will be at school. So that's her bus issue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, we got the little one taken care of. That was Tuesday that we had the issue with the bus for her. So I took her to school, no problem. I made it happen. So my son, Monday, which is in the 9th grade, he logged it up. I cooked him breakfast, all that. He tries to log on to. Honey, I went and bought them some breakfast food for after. But Monday, when he tried to log on to Canvas, Zoom, none of that was working. None of it. So I'm like, okay, well, you're going to sit there, because you never know, they may pop on, and then you don't want to not be logged in and get absent.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout the day, throughout his classes, he kept checking. None of his apps was working. So I'm like, okay, well, you made it through the day. Tuesday, like I said, I took my daughter to school. Everything was fine with her. They get home Tuesday. Why my 9th grader left his laptop at school? So Wednesday, luckily, I have about 4 or 5 laptops. So luckily, I was able to still get him with a laptop to log on to his classes. I'm like, what was you thinking? Like, you really needed this laptop. He was like, but Ma, the teacher said he got it. Okay, whatever. Long as you and I text him today too. Bring that laptop home.
Yes.
So we'll see. But for the most part, everything is working now. It's flowing. They know what time they need to be up. They know they may get 2 calls in the morning to get up. And then we're going to have some issues. But for the most part, I mean, especially with my daughter's teacher, she's reaching out. She's doing, everything that. So, I mean, I can't complain too much about the first week.
Well, she did not have a bad week in comparison to some others. But yes, she brought up a point about, the kids being absent or being labeled absent. That was one of the other complaints from some of the parents, that They were trying to get into those apps and were unsuccessful. However, their children were possibly still being counted absent for that day, even though they could not get into those apps. So it was some hiccups throughout the
And
week.
I will say, if you experience that problem, please email, because I asked my son, did you reach out to the teacher? Did you email the teacher? Y'all got that, you got the communication, you got to use it. And I want him to be able to not depend on me to reach out to the, to the teacher. So I said, well, make sure you reach out to the teachers, let them know what's going on. And their response was, we know, we're working on it. So I felt a little bit better that he was able to reach out to the teacher himself to let them know what was going on.
So that's awesome. So if you are having that problem, like she said, make sure you email somebody in the administration, the teacher, principal, secretary, whomever you can get a response from, to ensure that your children are not being counted absent from school because they're unable to get into those apps, and they have been actively trying to get into those apps. But I think after today, or after this week, most of the hiccups and trials of trying to get on those apps should be pretty non-existent, and few and far in between. So that is definitely a plus. But it has been a struggle for the first week for many.
Yeah.
But I want to say that there's strength in numbers. So, and I know that this is probably a cliche, or it's been something that your grandmother and everybody has probably said for many years, that it takes a village to raise a child. And this is a test and trial of that time right now,
where
to
you
where
need your village.
You need that.
It don't
village.
have to be family. It don't have to be friends. Just make sure you got someone that you can call on if you need it. And I can honestly say, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, my sister here reached out to me. She was like, I just want to make sure the babies are good for school. They got everything they need. And I can say one day this week, she actually texted me and told me how proud she is of me. And that motivated me. Like, that really pushed me, to not only help me, because I'm working from home, but to help them as well get to where they need to be. So, thank you, boo.
You are so welcome. That's what we're here for.
So, if you got, like I said, it don't have to be family. It don't have to be friends. Just find you someone that you can go to. Absolutely. If you're in that need. And that can push you without you telling them you need that push, because she just don't know. Like, she was the only ones that reached out to me to make sure me and my kids were straight for this school year.
Oh, look, she about to make me cry.
Oh, cut it out.
Listen, y'all, trust me, with a newborn, it has been crazy. But absolutely, if you need me, I know I'm here, and it's not just with Tasha or whatever. That's with anybody. I try and make sure that I leave my heart and open my heart and mind to the possibility of someone in need. This is one of the reasons why we started Queen's Talk, and we are going to keep pushing forward every single day. And we're going to keep building and making sure that not only are we strong together, but we build a strength, a network of strength within the group and the community. And we want to be able to reach out to all the other cities and states, and making sure that they create that same atmosphere throughout. Because again, there's strength, there's power in numbers.
Yes.
And this time of COVID-19 has not been easy for anybody. I know that some people just wish they can turn back the hands of time, or even fast forward it to a whole new year to see if you get something different. But I believe that this time and this trial that we are all experiencing is here for us to be able to say we made it through, for us to be able to push, to be able to grow it with ourselves. Because sometimes we have to, we do so much throughout the day that we don't even take the time to think about ourselves and be able to actually motivate, mediate to ourselves, to be able to talk to ourselves and get to know who we are internally. Because we're so focused on the external, we're so focused on getting up, going to work, doing the the usual day-to-day activities. But this test, because that's just what it is.
Exactly.
This test of time has really, um, for me, I know, shown me so many different things. It allows me to be able to love me more, to be able to talk to me, to be able to spend more time. Unfortunately, some people may not think this, but spend more time with my husband, getting to know him, getting to know the other people around me, friends that I wouldn't necessarily talk to all the time or whatever, but we would reach out from time to time. So it has really, really strengthened me, for this test and trial, to be able to say at the end, that I made it through. They always say that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I believe that, that this is just that tunnel, and we are going to make it through. Whether we have to cry on each other's shoulders, call in the middle of the night, just be by yourself, to grow. It is going to be all right. You're going to make it through. You're going to make it to the other side of the tunnel.
And I think not only for self, but we got to think when COVID-19 first kicked off, and we was
Way back
made
in February.
We was made to stay in the house. Look at the people that actually spent time with their kids.
Yeah.
Like we was forced to do things. Yeah, we spend time with our kids, so don't take it the wrong way. But
you were just wrapped up in every other
everyday thing that till
sometimes
this came. This came, then we was forced to spend that quality time with our kids. And think about it. Look how many babies was born during COVID-19. Like, I mean, it's a bad thing that happened.
That's really not where we were going with that, the baby thing or whatever.
I'm just saying they made it. You never know who may have had it at the time that the child could not have made it through.
True.
But babies was being born. Older people actually beat the COVID-19.
Yeah.
So it's bad, of course.
Right.
However, some good did come out of it.
Absolutely.
We made it this far. We can continue to push.
Yes.
We can make it on to see what the end gonna be like.
What the
end gonna be like.
She from South Carolina, them old folks down there, they ain't no joke. They be coming up with all kinds of stuff. But ladies, it has been a pleasure. Again, we are available if you need us. Post, and click the. I'm waiting.
Really?
Yes, because that's your line.
Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell.
Put your comments in the bottom of our YouTube channel.
Don't matter if it's good, negative, whatever.
Because we're
give
gonna
us
learn.
feedback. We're learning, we pushing, we growing. And if y'all can push with us, push us, then that's fine too. We take that. We'll make it.
We'll make it work. We are not here to just be like, oh, well, we ain't listening to nothing that nobody else saying.
Exactly.
This our own thing or whatever. No, we are doing this not only for us, but for everybody out there, for all of you beautiful queens, each and every day. To be able to say this is really important, that this is something that you can truly adapt to and be able to look at in a positive light. And like I said, for us to grow, for you guys to grow, love on one another. Don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to live, learn, grow,
and love.
Absolutely. Gotta love. Love one another. Love yourself. Love on your children.
Yes.
Make sure you hug them, kiss them, tell them how proud you are of them, especially during this time. All the motivation and love that they can get is going to be helpful. It's going to mean the world to them. It might not look like it now. You might think that those kids still don't appreciate. They don't know what's what, but in the end, it will pay off. And that's all we can do is love the kids. We don't want to give them any negative comments, statements. We want to be a positive reinforcement in their lives. Because the way that you talk to them, the way that you treat them, it's going to always be embedded in their minds. So stimulate their minds, Craig, is, they would say on Friday, but we're not going to stimulate it that way. We're going to stimulate their minds by being there for them, by loving on them, and just showing them that they are appreciated. They are not a problem, that they are here for a reason, and eventually they'll be able to see what that reason is going to be. Everybody has a purpose. You don't know what it is today, but everybody has one. You'll soon find out what your children's purpose are. And we love you.
We love you.
We are out.